Hello, do you have a task for me? A review? This I can do. What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Azura Media Club, home of the Bad Girl Coven. I'm your Coven leader, Emily. We're talking Wild Robot today. Uh, Frankly, a 10 out of 10, theater experience for myself. I was expecting the movie to be good, but I went in, everyone's talking good stuff about it, it's been hyped all the hell, many trailers and whatnot, which is fine. But as just some random kids movie, I don't really have a lot of like a lot invested in kids movies these days, with there being freaking Illumination and shit, who did make the Super Mario Brothers movie, and that's great in its own right and everything, but um. Yeah, they don't always make that great of movies, and, debatable, whatever, but, kids movies these days, it's not a great field to, because they know they can just cash in, they know they can just get away with whatever, and a lot of times it's just very basic stuff, but, I applaud when a movie, apparently an adaptation of books, which I didn't even fucking know about, which is awesome, and I'm assuming kids books or whatever, but still, something like that can go above and beyond and really grab at the heartstrings and really weave a cohesive and um, powerful narrative, and visually it's just a stunning representation of what films can do now, and from DreamWorks, no less. I mean, I know they've made the Shrek movies, and Puss in Boots: The Last Wish was really good, and Small Soldiers, of course, deep cut, I guess, but I don't know, is it a deep cut Small Soldiers? But anyway, so I can't really think of anything other than that, those major things that they've done, and probably, you can correct me in the comments, there's probably some good ones, maybe some ones I haven't seen that I need to see. Um, so, when something like this comes out, and I go and see it, I was mildly excited, I'm like, oh yeah, I've heard good things, I'm sure it'll be good, but I was sitting there, and then just from a certain point, you know, I don't know, maybe a third or two-thirds of the way through the movie, I just start getting all teary-eyed, and it basically didn't stop until the end, and then just there's so many great moments in the movie of, I mean, the movie, I'll give probably some spoilers, but the movie's about this robot, right? Roz, as it is. Roz something 7138, right? Is that it? Did I get it right? Um, and she's stranded on this island where she's not supposed to be. Apparently a typhoon took out whatever was carrying her, and then five or six of them ended up there. The other ones didn't make it, basically. We see one scene where briefly she talks to another of these robot type things, and then so but she's trying to explore this island, right? And these animals on the island keep kind of fucking with her shit, and taking out all of her parts and whatnot. She's trying to get this beacon that's on the top of her head so that she can get back to her factory or whatever. And eventually someone breaks it, and that's when she has to go to the wreckage and find another one. But before that happens, she finds she ends up stumbling onto this nest and basically kills the family of this poor little gosling bird thing, you know. And she takes the egg, she analyzes what's inside and sees that it's a baby, and so when it's funny, when it hatches, she tries to contain it and put it together so it won't hatch, but then she realizes oh, this is a good thing that it's hatching, and eventually, because she was the first thing this thing saw. It saw her as its mother, you know. So, um, but yeah, like at that point she's like, oh, I completed my task. I need to go back, and then, but she ends up realizing like I need to help this this Gosling get off this island because that's what like the possum lady tells her or whatever. Who's apparently Catherine O'Hara. Like I didn't know that. Didn't know fucking Pedro Pascal was the wolf, and I didn't know fucking Mark Hamill was the bear because I'm so immersed in the world that like in the story and shit that I like didn't notice any of these things. But all-star cast apparently, and I'm sorry I don't remember the name, but the lady who voiced the robot also very very good. Yeah, so like performance wise and like character wise and stuff, really good. And then at some point she has to like name the bird, like the woman's telling her like you can't just give it a number. She like tries to give it a number. She's like Gosling 0001. And then she's like he's like, nah, no, it can't just be like numbers. Or no, like before he says that, she's like, all right, fine, I'll give it a new one, 0186 or something. She's like, look, it's out of sequence, and there's a lot of good humor in the movie too. I'm not doing it justice, obviously, but um, so, but then she comes up with Bright Bill somehow, and that kind of sticks. So we see Bright Bill as like a little Gosling. We see him kind of growing up there, and then at some point there's like kind of a time cut. Like the whole thing, the whole premise of the movie. And I gotta say, the other thing about this is like the trailer like spoils most of the movie, and I kind of hate that. It made me interested in the movie. It doesn't get. I mean, it gets across some of the emotion. I mean, I think that's where the movie really shines above the trailer is the emotion. But like all of the story is there in the trailer, which sucks because like I would have liked to have been surprised, you know, like I think it would have been better with the tension of, and you still get a little bit of that if you're like immersed in it, but like if the tension of, oh hey, I need to return to the factory like loomed in the background, right? Which it does, but like if I didn't know if she was going back or not, like, you know, the trailer kind of spoils like that they're gonna come try to get her or whatnot. Again, spoilers. I'm going to be talking a little bit about that, but you should go see the movie. It's a 10 out of 10 kind of movie, and you need to see it, you know, especially in a theater if you can, because it's very theater worthy. I saw it in XD, so Cinemark XD, so that was awesome. I figured it would be that kind of movie that, you know, you'd want to do that. I got like dead center. I didn't know that seat 14 out of 24 wasn't kind of going to be the... It's like more like 16. You want to be in seat 16, by the way. That's the middle of those like first few rows. Not the first few rows, but like the middle, first of the middle rows. That was like F14, and then I realized, oh shit, I should be in like F16. So note for myself for next time. Your theater's probably completely different. But anyway, point being, I got my optimal movie spot because nobody was sitting there because it was Monday. Although it was Columbus Day, so I mean, you know, there were more people there than I thought there would be. It wasn't exactly an empty theater like when I went to see Super Mario Brothers, but yeah. So anyway, getting back on track. So the possum lady tells her that like, hey, your bird needs to get off this island before winter with the rest, and it's like, I don't know, I guess spring at that point. Um, so she's like, you need to, what is it? You need to, it's something in swimming and flying is the thing. Like, so, yeah. So you gotta, like you protect the bird and then swim and fly and all that. So yeah. So she's trying to teach her how to swim and fly and stuff, but she doesn't really know anything about that. She just knows like diagrams of how like humans would do it, or like, you know, that's what she shows him initially, like a diagram of how a human would swim. And then he finds these other geese, and they're all standoffish or whatever, but like they end up eventually helping him kind of learn at least the basics of swimming. And then later on, he grows up even more, and then um, you know, we see like season jumps, which is nice and kind of gets across the point and stuff. Um, then this like really experienced flying goose train, or that one was a hawk though. The guy, right? He seemed like a hawk. I don't know. Anyway, a very experienced flyer teaches him how to freaking like fly and stuff. Was the flying instructor a different character than Longbeak? I'm trying to remember now. Gosh, I think he was. Wouldn't it have been better if they would have done... I don't know. Anyway. What happens to that guy? Hard to say. I can't remember. I've only seen this movie once, so... Sorry if I get the details a little fuzzy. Anyway, so... But the point is... The objective is to get this bird off the island, and he's the runt of his litter, and everyone's saying you can't do it, basically, but, you know, she has to, the wild robot Roz has to go above her programming and kind of help this bird grow, and even despite his, seeming flaws, you know, his short wings and all of this stuff, it doesn't make him bad, it just makes him unique, you know, which is nice. That's kind of the message of the movie, is that he can still do it. He can even maybe do it better than everyone else because he has a different way of doing things. And, you know, just because he was raised by this robot, all the other birds think he's kind of weird, and so that's part of the whole thing. But they end up finding that, you know, he is a great leader in his own way because he's so different from the rest. And, actually later on, because he knows about the Roz, you know, units, because he was raised by one, he ends up helping them avoid, like, more violent versions of the Roz units and stuff, and it's very touching. Like, most of the later stuff in the movie, and some of the earlier stuff too, of course, the whole movie is just, like, very touching, you know, and, you know, even with, like, all this good humor and, like, and even, it's not even just about the relationship between Roz and Brightbill there. It's actually also about the relationship of the other animals on the island. They have to learn to cooperate. I mean, it's a nice message, but I don't know how that's actually going to work later on, because they're going to have to eat each other at some point. But they all survive the winter together because of Roz, because... You know, winter, Brightbird, fuck that movie. Brightbill's gone. You know, he never got to say that he loved Roz. I was waiting for it, but that's part of the movie too, is that he wants to come back and say that. But Roz is supposed to leave before the winter is over. But luckily she stays, because she's got friends on the island and everything. And then it's a terrible storm, so like... You know, she's got to go and help and rescue all these animals. And of course, they're all in this, like, one place together. So they're all at each other's throats because that's nature, right? But then you get the theme of the movie again. And it's like, you have to go beyond your instinct, beyond your nature, and evolve beyond that and kind of do better than that. And she teaches them how to survive together. And not just her, but, like, the Fox character as well. Fink, I think it is. Yeah, Pedro Pascal Fox, apparently, you know, didn't know that. Also helps her to be like, hey, you know, she saved your life, and she did that, and you guys wouldn't be here without her. Like, let's just live together here. And then they all agree to do that throughout the winter, and it's really nice. And it actually shows, like, the whole island is, like, has this bond now, you know? And then when, like, the robots show up to, like, try and take her back, you know? I guess it's not really a spoiler. It's in the fucking trailer for the stupid movie. The movie's not stupid, but, you know, the trailer's stupid. Stupid trailer is what it's in. But they all fight together, tooth and nail, to, like, keep these things away. And they cause so much destruction, but they eventually, they work together, and it works out. But then, like, Roz realizes, ah, shit, like, this is just gonna keep happening, because that's what, like, the Wally Captain Robot told her, the squid one, or whatever. And so she decides she's gonna go back to the factory, even though they'll probably reprogram her and whatnot. But before that, like, her and Bright Bell have this moment, like, on the ship there. She's supposed to have, like, her memory erased, and then she's, like... Because it's, like, this whole theme of, like, I stopped feeling it in here, and I started feeling it in here. And she feels that, you know? She feels their connection, and that kind of goes past whatever, like, was supposed to apparently have took in her memory. And she still has it, and... She kind of keeps quiet about still having it, but, you know, she's like, it's like this moment where you're like, oh, don't go back, but it's like, that's what she says to him. She's like, I'll be alright, you know? I'm feeling things in here now, and they can never take that away, and it's really powerful stuff, you know? And then, so she's gotta leave, and then, he, on one of his migrations, ends up finding her again, like, how he knows it's her is just like, that's gotta be instinctual or something. But, he's taking a big risk, because if any of those other robots had seen him, it would have been just like the time before. But anyway, so he goes and visits her, and then she's like, you know, she says her line like, oh, I'm Roz7138 or whatever, and then she's like, but you can call me Roz, and that's how we know they're still, you know, she still knows, you know, so it's nice. It's just it's a great movie, you know? It's all about being a parent and watching your kid grow up or whatever. Not that I've had that experience, but I feel like I have now that I've seen this fucking movie. Great stuff. You know, a lot of good stuff. And there is a post-credit scene, so don't be fucking, you know, I saw the lady staring at me, like the cleanup crew from over there, you know, ready to come up and do it. I wish she would have just started cleaning the other rows or whatever, but, you know, I was waiting. I wanted to see. I was gonna see that fucking post-credit. I'm like, I just feel it. I feel there's something here, and if there wasn't, then whatever. I would have sat through, you know, the great list of names of people who made this amazing movie. I wanted to at least, you know, honor them with that, so... And there was a post-credit scene, but... So, stick around, you know? But... Yeah, it was awesome. It was just excellent. I don't want to, like, get into every little detail of it. You know, it just... is a really powerful movie, and it's a really good theater experience if you can go and see it there. That's absolutely worth doing. The soundtrack is amazing. The like 2 or 3 like songs that actually had lyrics were incredible and powerful, even though they probably shouldn't have been, like, got me to like feel that as much, but like they knew what they were doing, you know? Like that was some good shit. Like the music along with the visual, along with like the story and the characters, and it's such a well-crafted movie that really hones in on its message and does an excellent job portraying said message, and I really appreciate that about the movie, and you just get so connected and invested and immersed in the characters, their goals, you know, all of that kind of stuff. It's just really well done and really, really well written. And to say that it's a hard thing to do is an understatement as a writer, you know. Still trying to get my characters there. I kind of know how, like, where we're headed, but it's like, it's a difficult thing to play out over time, you know, so. But, yeah, I loved the movie. I really did. It was just so well done and so good, and it deserved every penny I put into it, you know? It's one of those movies I was so good, I was like considering going back and watching again in the theater like I did with Inside Out. And I don't do that with a lot of movies, you know? But like, I'd be excited to go see it again, like, you know, soon, like tomorrow or the next day or something, just so I could see it again. But I'd want to bring my friends or whatever, but you know, it's difficult because like one of them's only available on the weekend or whatever, so it's like, it's tough. But yeah, you know, I loved it. I love this movie. I would definitely give it like a 10 out of 10. It's my favorite DreamWorks movie now, as I mentioned at the beginning there. Um, it's it's amazing. It's fantastic. It's excellent. I don't know how many words can I lob at it, you know? Um, I had a really good time watching this, and I was like just like crying in the theater, you know, like and laughing at certain points and feeling and just I was so immersed in the movie, you know. The soundtrack is like so good as well. This is really good. It's probably what plays up a lot of the emotion, but the emotion is also baked into the characters and the atmosphere and the goals and all of that and the character growth, you know, going beyond what you are meant to be, you know, like this. They keep saying it throughout the movie is like Bright Bill's family is like dead and he wasn't meant to make it this far, you know, like, but he did, you know, he was able to do it, and there's that's another theme is like he's like what does he say, something about like, you know, anything they can do you can do too, or something like um just because you're different doesn't mean you can't, you know, succeed basically in your own unique way at the things that they do too. So it's great stuff. It's great stuff. A lot of good stuff going on, you know. No, for real. I'm just rambling at this point because I love this movie. But yeah, like, oh, peak 10 out of 10 shit there. Loved it. Amazing. Go see The Wild Robot. It's not just Bastion the movie like we thought when we saw the friggin' trailers or whatever. I mean, that's part of it. Be more like Orisa the movie, right? She's the one that's got that like, how may I help you like kind of voice or whatever. So speaking of which, I have completed my task. Please subscribe to the channel. That is your task. And like and join the Bad Girl Coven so that you can come back and see more videos next time. Until then, never forget, magic comes from the heart. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Emily?